Let's look in the 2012 campaign cycle, according to the Center for Responsive Politics. There were, however, only about 646 people who ran up against that limit that your case knocked down. By contrast, more than 4 million people gave to Barack Obama with smaller donations. So do you feel that at bottom, as a factual matter right now, this ruling, even if it's free speech, is free speech for a relatively small number of people?
Well, all Americans, regardless of economic status, are entitled to free speech under the First Amendment. This is fundamental free speech and political assembly. All Americans are entitled to free speech.
Sure, but I mean specifically when you look at this being only 600 or so people, if it stays that way, would you argue this is sort of a limited ruling because for most Americans going over 100,000 isn't a big issue?
Well, I can't understand why we would want to limit the free speech of any Americans. This is a free country, and if we want to, you know, it's about your right to spend your money on as many candidates as you choose. I mean, it's freedom.
Say you have the federal candidates in your state that represent you, you are their constituent. Isn't there something different with folks who represent other people in other states? How is it a violation of your individual free speech to not be able to give to other politicians who don't even represent you?
Well, again, it's about the free speech and the political activism of people outside the government. It's about we the people selecting the people that go into the government. So,
but in your perspective, sort of just in plain English, what is the harm in preventing you from donating to, say, a politician in another state that you don't even get to vote for?
Well, I wanted to spend more money on more candidates, committees, and PACs and parties. You know, I wanted to support more candidates, and under the First Amendment, I can support more. So it's about freedom of speech, and the government does not need to limit any Americans, regardless of economic status. And this is about private, individual people donating directly to more campaigns and committees. It's freedom of speech. It's basic, you know, political assembly. Again, it's about, you know, supporting your candidates and your messages in the political marketplace. And you know, I believe everybody would agree that we need to improve, and politics is not going to improve with less money. I have not seen many things that improved without time and money being invested. So yeah. I'm all for more money in politics. I think that's a good thing, especially money from private individual citizens of this country.
No, I understand that. There's a long tradition of making sure that private political activity and speech is protected. Obviously, you got the better of the argument at the court. But, you know, you mentioned the marketplace. That's one of those things here that I think will continue to be a big debate. Sometimes we talk about the marketplace of ideas as an analogy where the best ideas can go out and win. A marketplace that looks more like a cartel or where there aren't enough spaces for people because so much is bought up, I think is something that concerns people and isn't, in some sense, isn't free market either. But I really appreciate you spending some time with us, and I will say congratulations on winning your case this week.
Thank you.
All right, Shaun McCutcheon, thank you.